Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Arlene for those of you who are new here and that don't know me. It is June, which means that it is my birthday month. I celebrated my 31st birthday just this past Thursday, and I thought I would share 5 lessons that I learned in my 30th year. One of the things that I've noticed, just watching movies and series and that kind of stuff is there's a lot of content out there about women especially that are about to turn 30. And it's this thing of, oh, are you married yet? Do you have kids yet? Where are you at in your career? And if you are about to turn 30 and don't have a man and aren't getting married and don't have kids yet, there's this kind of stigma of like, oh, you're getting old and you don't have your stuff together. And it brings about a lot of anxiety for people, and I can completely relate to that anxiety. I remember at the beginning of 2019, I had set my goals and written down all the stuff that I was ready to do, and I was really doing my best to work towards them. But by the time June came around, I started getting a bit antsy because a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do, I hadn't done yet, and I could see that some of the stuff I wanted to do before I turned 30 was just not going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen before I had set that deadline for myself. And I was mad at myself for not being able to make that happen. And I think so many of us put that kind of pressure on ourselves, to be a certain way by a certain age, to have done certain things by a certain age. And I have felt the weight and the pressure of that disappointment by not meeting those goals and not meeting those. Oh, so itchy. I felt the weight of the disappointment of not meeting your goals and not meeting your deadlines and not doing things that you wanted to do by a certain time. So I wanted to share the 5 lessons that I learned in my 30th year with you so that you don't need to learn those lessons yourself. Number 1, nothing will be perfect, and that's okay. Honestly, this is a really hard lesson for me, but it's definitely a valuable one. So when I set a goal for myself, I always see it ending exactly the way that I want it to end. I have a certain picture in mind, and I have this idea of the way that I want things to end. And I don't always think about it ending a different way. And that mentality has obviously brought about a lot of disappointment for me. Learning and making peace with the fact that things will not be perfect has taken a lot of pressure off myself and a lot of pressure off the people around me. There is beauty in imperfection, and when things don't go according to plan, and when certain things happen and things crop up that you hadn't planned for, a lot of the time those are when the best memories are made. That is when the most fun is had. Sometimes things don't necessarily go according to plan. Sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's somebody else's fault, and that's okay. Learn from it and move on with your life. God's timing is perfect, and a lot of the time when God denies something, He is protecting you from something that you don't necessarily know might happen in the future. Number 2, loving and celebrating myself is not wrong. This is something that I've really struggled with. God knows that I've really struggled with this. I've always felt like putting the spotlight on myself and on anything that I have achieved and that is worth celebrating comes across as vain and conceited. But I realized that feeling that way is actually false humility, and it downplays and dampens the gifts that God has given me. Also, when I bash myself, I'm insulting the one that made me and created me and put these gifts and talents inside me. It's almost like saying to God, thanks for putting the stuff inside me, but it's not really good enough. So I've realized that not celebrating myself does more harm than anything else. And it harms my self-esteem and it harms my spirit. So if I don't believe that I'm worth celebrating, that I'm worth causing a fuss over, and that I'm worth the pampering, and that I'm worth the money, how can I expect anyone else to celebrate me the way that I don't celebrate myself? I'm worth the effort, I'm worth the fuss, I'm worth the money, and it's okay even if it's just me who believes that. God does not create defects, and He created you. He put your gifts and your talents inside of you, and that alone is worth celebrating. So celebrate yourself and don't be shy about it. Number 3.
Don't put your ear like that.
It's itching me, man.
Yeah, but it's not going to look nice.
Number 3. Relationships require effort and pursuit, so choose the ones you want close to you wisely. Oh, this is a difficult one because it's something that I've been learning for years, literally for years. I've had a lot of friendships that have disappointed me and that have taught me lessons and have hurt me, obviously. Relationships do hurt and do build and do heal. And I think once you get to a certain age, you kind of realize the smaller your circle is, the better. And quality is definitely better than quantity. I used to have a really large group of friends, and I thought that, you know, the more friends you had, the more loved you were. And it's not the truth. If you have a couple of close friends that really love on you and that you love really, really well and that you love a lot, it is so worth it. Every relationship requires effort. Every relationship requires energy. And for that reason, it is better to have less people that you have to put your energy into than having a large group of friends that will just leave you exhausted. It is the same with your family. You need to put effort into your relationships. You need to cultivate those relationships. So the smaller your circle, the better, and quality is definitely better than quantity. Number 4, you don't have as much time as you think you do. When I was a little girl, to tell you the truth, I thought that 30 was old. I think it's because by that time my mom had had these 2 kids, and you know, my parents were really thriving. They were both in their 30s. But it's not the truth. 30 is still so young. And when you're young, you have a lot to learn. In my early 20s, I was inflexible, I was really stubborn, but luckily I was still quite teachable. If I could tell my 25-year-old self anything, it would be that you don't know everything and your opinion is not cast in stone. Listen to other people, allow other people's stories to impact you, to learn from them, and yeah, just listen to other people's experiences. Even those who appear to know less than you do, everybody has something to teach you. So listen well, take their stories, experiences, and lessons to heart, and remember that a wise person is somebody who listens well. 5 is that time flies. It really does fly. I can't believe that I am sitting here as a 31-year-old. Honestly, time waits for no man. The hours, the days, the months, the weeks, the years fly by way too quickly for you to live your life full of regret and to live your life stagnantly. Pursue that dream. Go on that trip. Celebrate your life and enjoy your youth, because it will not come back. Once it's gone, it's gone. You'd rather look back and know that you tried something and it didn't work than look back and think, oh, what could have happened if I had just done that, if I had just tried that. The best thing you can do is just go for it and try. Life is too short to live it with regrets. So those are my 5 lessons. I hope that helped you in some way. I wanted to share with you the scripture that I picked for myself for my 31st year, and it really is, this is not who I am yet, but this is who I want to be, and this is what I'm working towards being. It is Psalm 119, verse 1 to 8. Joyful are people with integrity, who follow the instructions of the Lord. Joyful are those who obey His laws and search for Him with all their hearts. They do not compromise with evil, and they walk only in His paths. You have charged us to keep your commandments carefully. Oh, that my actions could consistently reflect your decrees. Then I will not be ashamed when I compare my life with your commands. As I learn your righteous regulations, I will thank you by living as I should. I will obey your decrees. Please don't give up on me. So I listened to a teaching that was based on the scripture, and he had read from a different version, and it had said that if you live your life this way, you will be blameless in the eyes of the Lord. And that's really what I want to be. I want to be blameless in God's eyes. I want to reflect His heart. I want to live His way and just be everything that He's created me to be. So I hope that this helped you in some way. If you are not 30 yet, good for you. Go and live your life and enjoy your youth. If you are 30 or above, you are still youthful, you are still young. Don't let anyone lie to you and sell you the lie that you are too old to do anything, that your time has gone. The time to start is now. So do what you're going to do. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you do have anything to say, please drop a comment for me. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you so much for watching.